Om Shri Sai Ram. Dear students, today we are going to look at the last section of the concert by Shanta Rameshwar Rao, part 3 of 3. I am sure you enjoyed the lesson. It was such a heart-touching lesson, story of a girl's deep love for her brother and how she helps her brother die peacefully, and also the compassion of Pandit Ravi Shankar and Ustad Allah Raka. So we learned so much from this lesson. I really enjoyed reading it. Even though it was very sad, I really enjoyed it, and I'm sure you would have enjoyed it too. And most important thing is, when we read lessons like this, we should learn whatever we can learn from the lesson. We should learn, and we learned the important values of being compassionate, loving, patient, kind. So let's learn the lessons whenever we can and try to implement it in our lives. Now today we are going to look at the questions and answers from the last session. Answer the following questions in 2 or 3 sentences each. Question number 1 was, how did Smita enjoy the concert? Smita was enchanted by the music. At the same time, her mind was full of the plan she had made to request Pandit Ravi Shankar to come home and play for Anand. You can word it differently, that was fine. So she enjoyed the music. At the same time, she was thinking of how to approach Pandit Ravi Shankar and request him to come home and play. Number 2, how did Pandit Ravi Shankar and Ustad Allah Raka keep their promise? After listening to Smita's story about her brother, Pandit Ravi Shankar and Ustad Allah Raka promised to play for him. They arrived at Smita's home the next day, sat down on the divan by the window and played for him. So they promised her, we'll come and play. They kept their promise. They went there the following day, played for him. Those 2 parts, again, word it any way you want. Read the following extracts and answer the questions that follow. Number 3, Panditji is a busy man. You must not bother him with such requests. Who is the you? You refers to Smita. B, who is the speaker? The speaker is the large mustachioed man. Make sure you have your spelling correctly for mustachioed. C, what does bother mean in this context? Bother means trouble, to give trouble. 4, tomorrow morning we perform for the boy. Yes? A, identify the speaker. The speaker is Ustad Allah Raka. Please don't get confused here. There's always, you might think, was it Ustad ji who said it or Pandit ji who said it? So you should not get confused. The speaker is Ustad Allah Raka. B, who did he speak to? He spoke to Pandit Ravi Shankar. C, who was the boy? The boy was Anand. So if you should get this in a test or an exam, supposing you get confused with these 2, you will just interchange and write, and both the answers would be wrong. Just a reminder, you should be very clear about who speaks which words. And that can come if you read anything with concentration. All right. The next question. He'll come tomorrow morning with the tabla ustad and they'll play for you. Who is the speaker? The speaker is Smita. Who does you refer to? You refers to Anant. Smita is speaking to Anant. Who was coming the following morning? Pandit Ravi Shankar was coming with Ustad Allah Raka to their home the following morning. So those are the 5 questions. I'm sure you all must have got all of them correct. Please study the lesson thoroughly. These are the general instructions which we give always. Answer all the questions that follow each section. Complete all the exercises that are given at the end of the lesson. All grammar exercises should be done in the notebook designated for grammar. This lesson will not be taught again. It is the student's responsibility to study it properly. Now regarding the exercises at the end of the lesson, from page 92 to 104, about 12 pages. There are lots of interesting exercises, useful exercises. Please do not omit any of them, do all of them. And there's a nice little dialogue there between Smita and Pandit Ravi Shankar. Remember in the story, they only tell you that Smita went to the stage and she talked to Pandit Ravi Shankar. You can have an imaginary dialogue between Pandit Ravi Shankar and Smita. Like Smita says, Panditji, I have something to tell you. And Panditji says, what is it, my dear girl? Like that. You can have a conversation between them. Write it down. You can role play it or just write it in the form of a dialogue, whichever way you want it. And in between, remember the mustachioed man also comes in and says, don't disturb the Panditji. All that you can write in the form of a dialogue. And then there are some sentences which are given all jumbled up, the story. You will have to arrange them properly in order of the story. And on page 96, there's a very beautiful crossword puzzle. I love crossword puzzles. They are so interesting. Just look at the clues given and then fill in the boxes. You can spend a lot of time, and if you have somebody else with you, it makes it more entertaining. So two of you can sit together, decide which word goes where, and complete the crossword puzzle. It's quite easy. There are no difficult words. Lot of them related to the lesson itself. And then there are some nice words which are given, which you can use and make sentences. And also there's a little bit of grammar, finite and non-finite verbs. You need to know the difference and learn and also do the exercises. So please do them and have a productive time doing all these exercises, enjoying yourself at the same time. So that's it for today. Thank you and Sai Ram.